Happy Friday, everybody. I am meteorologist Kenny, and thank you all so much for joining me right here. I am currently with Matt Tucker. He was one of a lot of people that were affected by all of the severe weather that we've been having all throughout this week. You all know that Texas has been hit most strongest, and if you watch me and the Hurricane HQ's live stream, we were covering 4 supercells that were crossing right over the U.S.-Mexican border, and one of them hit my good friend here, Matt Tucker, directly in the area of San Antonio. So, how you doing today?
We're doing great. Thanks a bunch. It's a little overcast today. Kind of weathered the storm, so to speak, and we're ready for another batch this weekend.
Oh, absolutely. So, tell me a little about what you experienced.
Yeah, so I'm kind of intrigued by these types of storms. I love watching them roll in and seeing the thunder or hearing the thunder and seeing the lightning. And my wife and I were actually sitting down on the front porch right at about 8 o'clock is when it started to rain. Lightning started, pretty severe lightning, and we're just the north side of San Antonio, so we were kind of on the fringe, but we got a ton of wind, lots and lots of rain. Dog and wife and I were sitting out on the front porch just kind of enjoying it, and then my wife got a little bit freaked out, so she went inside, and I stayed out and watched it until I started to get soaked. So it was pretty tremendous at the beginning end of it, that's for sure.
Yeah. So how strong was the winds that you would say probably?
So I mean, it was the typical classic wind-driven rain. I would guess we were getting 40-mile-an-hour gusts, if not a little bit higher. 2 of the neighbors' small trees got blown over. Nothing major, no major damage in our neighborhood. But the wind-driven rain was pretty tremendous.
Yeah, it must have almost looked like a hurricane out there.
Yeah, we're getting really close. So I'll take it when I can get it. We can use all the rain we can get, but usually that's the way we take it, is the whole season at once.
Yeah. So going over to your family side, how did your kids react? Were they scared? Were they excited? What was their reaction?
So believe it or not, I've got 2 little kids that slept through the storm like there was nothing.
How?
So I think they get that from their mom. She can sleep through anything, and I'm a really light sleeper. So the second I hear thunder, I'm awake, but the little girls, they just slept right through it. But they're less than 2 years old, so I can't blame them too much for that.
Dang, I wish I could sleep like they could.
You and me both.
Oh, yeah. So what was your first thoughts about this system being a homeowner? Obviously, you like to see storms, but, when it comes to damaging your home and everything, not the, best walk in the park.
No, actually, fantastic question. So we have some new neighbors that had just moved in to the left of us, and they had planted their trees right next to the fence. And my wife, about a week and a half ago, thought, oh, these trees are way too close for comfort. So the second we do get some more severe wind that's more than 40 miles an hour that catches the canopy on those trees, I have a feeling they're going to be resting against our home. But home weathered it, no missing shingles, no hail, fortunately, on our end. I know just south of us really got clobbered.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time before we take our loans.
Yeah, I think you guys definitely lucked out because when I was watching the storm, it had very strong and severe winds. I was actually shocked. It passed right over the radar site that I was actually on, and we were getting brand new radar signals considering that we were experiencing winds over Category 3 hurricane force, which is over 130 miles an hour. So I was shocked that we were still getting radar signals.
It's just south of us. I mean, we just skirted it, so we kind of got lucky. I got a rain gauge, and we collected 2.5 inches of rain that night. So 3 o'clock in the morning, another big severe system came through, dumped a ton more rain. We got about 2.5 inches in 12 hours, less than 12 hours.
Yeah. Anyways, so is this weather usual for this time of the area?
So believe it or not, about a handful of years, every 4 to 5, sometimes 10 years, this part of South Texas really gets drilled. Dallas seems to get more severe weather on a regular basis than where I live in San Antonio. But about 5 years ago, we had the costliest hailstorm in the state's history, actually. It was a little over, I want to say, $1.5 billion, right near there. But absolutely demolished the north side of San Antonio. So usually this time of year, I think when the patterns change, the cold fronts from the north kind of finishing up, the weather from the Gulf, and the moisture, it's so moist, so humid.
Yeah,
Once
absolutely.
that collects and combines, I mean, you know better than I do, but I can feel it just as a regular person, and you can
Oh,
see
yeah.
it as a professional, but it really comes together right above us, picks up steam and does a lot of damage. So
Yeah.
usually this time of year, this is when we kind of catch it. You know, April, May time, generally is when we get the good stuff.
Yeah. Were you guys affected by Hurricane Harvey a couple of years ago?
So I was actually in Colorado when
Lucky
Harvey
you.
came through. I had good friends that lived in Houston at the time that got flooded out. A lot of rising water in a really fast way. San Antonio is generally far enough inland that we don't get the direct wind damage
Amen.
that the coast does, but we'll generally get a lot of the excess rain.
Yeah.
Those bands of rain that come from hurricanes, we'll generally get those.
Yeah, and before I end up, I do have a couple of pictures that you sent me that I'm going to briefly show to everybody.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you off. I'm going to take you off the screen just so that way everybody can see. But here are just a couple of pictures of his damage. Once again, he didn't directly get affected by the storm, but was just missed. He got tremendous flooding. Here's a couple more pictures. The rain going right throughout his fence, flooding throughout right near his basement probably. And look at that, a hailstone probably came right through his house and made a huge hole in his ceiling, which is not anything you ever want to see. Look at the size of that hailstone, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking probably about baseball to softball sized hail coming down extremely fast. That can definitely do some damage. And just to show you all where he lives, this is where he lives right here, just to the north of the San Antonio metro area. So the storm probably just went to the south of him, right through the metro area of San Antonio, but thankfully he was just enough north to where he lucked out. So
You got it.
I think that is all we have for you right now. I appreciate you coming on today. I appreciate your time.
Thanks a million, Liam. Keep the good work up. I mean, your broadcast and your heads up has helped a ton of us, and we'll continue to do so. So, man, we really appreciate your help.
Yeah, it's my absolute pleasure, man. Anytime. So that is all we have for you all today. I will be doing another video later today with the latest forecast for this weekend. So you all have a great weekend.